Hello everyone and welcome to Random Review Fridays. This is going to be a new segment that hopefully will be something that I'll be doing continuously, because I know I do videos one day and then I won't do a video for 2 weeks or for a month. I'm thinking of doing reviews every other Friday, and this segment is going to consist of just random movies in my collection that I'll pick up, I'll watch it, and I have to judge it and I have to review it for you guys. And it can be a movie from my collection, it could be something from Netflix, it could be a suggestion from you guys, or from Redbox, or from anything. And I have two movies today that I want to review. One of them I had seen before, a long time ago, and one that was recommended to me by a friend. And they're both hilarious movies, unintentionally hilarious movies. I'm a fan of those movies, movies that are so bad, they're good. The cheesy movies, I enjoy them. I know some people say, what's the point of watching bad movies? It's a guilty pleasure for me. I enjoy watching those movies. So today I have two movies. One of them is Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave. This movie, there's a little bit of a history with this movie, at least a history between me and this movie. I first saw this movie when I was like 9 or 10 years old. And I remember I had not seen a Bruce Lee movie up until that point. And I was trying to find Bruce Lee movies on tape, and I asked my parents to buy me a Bruce Lee movie, and they went to a flea market and they picked up this movie, Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave. So immediately, the title was like, Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave. I was like, I have to see this. So I saw it, and of course I found it hilarious. I found it completely ridiculous, and I've enjoyed it more over the years. But of course, this is not a Bruce Lee movie. This is a Bruceploitation movie. And what a Bruceploitation movie is, back in the 70s, after Bruce Lee passed away, there was a string of movies that were released that did not star Bruce Lee. It starred lesser-known actors who had some resemblance to Bruce Lee, but were not connected to Bruce Lee at all. They were not relatives or anything of the sort. And the most famous Bruceploitation movie is, of course, Game of Death, which was an unfinished film from Bruce Lee. And what ended up happening was that Bruce Lee passed away, sadly, while filming Game of Death. And the film was never completed. They only finished 30 minutes of that film. So that movie was shelved, and the producers had to find a way to finish that movie, and they hired someone who kind of looked like him. And they finished the movie, and that was the first Bruceploitation movie. And after that, you had hundreds of Bruceploitation movies. I own a couple of them, not too many. I try to stay away from some of them, because some of them are just really, really, really bad. But this one, even though the title says Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave, it has nothing to do with Bruce Lee coming out of the grave or fighting demons like you see in the picture here. Nothing of that sort. The movie, the first shot, you do see Bruce Lee coming out of the grave, and you see this poster zoomed into the screen. But the rest of the film is about a young Asian who comes down to, I think it's supposed to be LA, but it looks like China, trying to hide everything that looks like it's China and trying to make it look like it's LA. So this guy is coming down to pay respects to a good friend of his who passed away, who was killed, and along the way he meets this girl who wants to learn some kung fu from him, and she's getting assaulted and every single time, and he has to save her. It's a ridiculous movie. It has terrible dubbing, terrible acting, horrible editing, and you can tell that these guys actually wanted to do a good movie. Like, it's not like this movie was made bad intentionally. It's like these guys really wanted to do a good movie, but they had no clue what to do. And I always watch this movie just to remember how not to do a movie, and it's hilarious. There's a scene that cracks me up all the time, and it's close to the end, where the lead character, whose real name, at least the name they give him, is Bruce K.L. Leia. I don't know why, because apparently the idea was to give the first name Bruce and they'll put like L-I or L-E. So they ran out of ideas and they put Bruce K.L. Leia. So the scene is at the end, and he has to fight a whole bunch of different people in a junkyard. And the next shot, they literally jump into a ring, a boxing ring. Where did that boxing ring come from? There's no explanation whatsoever as to how they got from one place to another. It's just that one shot. The guy walks in from the junkyard and they're in a boxing ring. And another thing that makes me laugh is that you'll see the actor with his lips closed and you hear the sound going, "Ooh, whoa," and his lips are sealed, and it's terrible, terrible dubbing. But it's definitely a movie that you'll enjoy with a group of friends, just sitting down, drinking a couple of beers, eating popcorn. You'll enjoy it. Sadly, the picture quality is terrible. It's transferred from a third or fourth generation VHS tape, and I didn't know this until a couple of years. I never really looked at the bottom, because I got this from Amazon. This is a bootleg copy. I got this from Amazon. It's actually an official copy, but it is a burned copy, because there's not exactly a demand on this movie. You know, it's not really something people are looking after. I think you can get it also in a box set. I actually have it in a box set in my collection, included there, and the picture quality is even worse because it's compressed with 2 other movies. But you can see this in YouTube also for free. Picture quality also not very good, but if you want to watch a cheesy movie where you don't have to really think at all and just laugh at how badly edited, badly choreographed, there's nothing really good in this movie, you'll enjoy it. So definitely watch Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave if you enjoy cheesy kung fu B-grade movies. The next one was recommended to me by a friend, and I had never heard about this movie. It's an 80s movie, and this is also a movie where you can tell these guys were seeking out to do a good movie, but they just failed in all of the places, in terms of acting, directing, even dubbing. The movie is Miami Connection. This movie, this movie's hilarious. There's not an exact plot. There is a plot, but it's just so ridiculous to actually think in one sentence what this whole movie is about. You can actually find this on Blu-ray, I think, but it's really, really expensive. And even the DVD is like 20 some odd dollars. And I plan to get this eventually later on, but my friend had seen this with another group of friends, and they were all laughing at how ridiculous this movie is. So there's a group of bikers who they also play in a band. There's also these ninjas in the movie. It's just ridiculous. It takes place in Miami during the 1980s, the drug kind of time, and it's a really hilarious movie. As I said, it really doesn't get better than this if you want to watch a movie where there's really terrible dubbing, overacting. There's a scene where 2 guys are arguing, and you can tell they had memorized the lines, and there's really no emotion as to what they're doing. They're just like going really quickly to say what they have to say, and there's no emotion in the argument. And there's another hilarious scene where a young guy gets beat up by the sister of the his character's girlfriend, and this guy comes to defend him, and there's a terrible dubbing. Instead of confronting the guy, he goes, "Yes, we must go now. Let's leave." Hilarious, hilarious stuff. So these 2 movies are great. If you, like I said, if you like cheesy B movies where you don't have to think, just sit down, enjoy what you're watching, check these 2 out. So that's all for today. Hopefully Friday after next, I want to check out any movies here that I have not yet to see and just review it with you guys. If you have any recommendations that you want to give or any suggestions, please leave your comments down below. Until next time.